morning to all of you. This is Mineef Goswami welcoming you all in our live and interactive session, and this is our online training on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 3. If we talk about phase 3, the states we are covering like Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura. Overview of the program, that's very important to know. And if we talk about the overview, this online training on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 3 covers National Education Policy, in short NEP 2020 recommendations for digital education, particularly for virtual labs, their significance and scope. If we talk about further relevance of virtual labs for teaching learning of different subjects across curriculum will be explained. And if we talk about today's session, this session is going to be about virtual lab as a teaching learning tool for computer science. Have you ever wondered that if we talk about computer science, how are we going to use these virtual labs? If we talk about chemistry, physics, biology, that is very understood that the experimentation will be done in these virtual labs. But today we are going to study about that how we can get this environment of virtual labs when it comes to computer science. And if we talk about this session, you are watching us on PM eVidya channel number 6 to 12. With that, you are watching us on our YouTube channels, which are NCERT official and NCERT PM eVidya class 6 to 12. So the experts that I'm having for today's session is Mr. Rahul Verma, who is a technical consultant at CIET NCERT New Delhi. Rahul sir, a very warm welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, with Rahul sir, I've joined by another expert, come resource person for this session, and she is Miss Shweta Bhardwaj, who is a technical consultant at CIET NCERT New Delhi. Ma'am, a very warm welcome.
Namaste. Thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure for both of us to be here today to discuss the transformative impact of virtual labs on interactive learning in computer education.
Definitely. Before we begin this session with both our resource person, here's a piece of information for all our viewers, and that's very important. The information is that if you have any question for us, so you can directly call us on our contact number, which is flashing on your screen, and that is 8800440559. And if you have any feedback, any suggestion for us, so you can directly write us on our mail. And please note down our mail ID, that is diksha.training@ciet.nic.in. With that, as I've mentioned, our YouTube channel. So if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, so you can ask your questions in the live chat box. So without any further delay, let's start this session with both of our experts. And the first question that I would like to ask from you, Rahul sir, and the question is the brief overview. I just want you to explain that what we are going to discuss in today's session.
Okay, sure. So today's session is about virtual labs as a teaching learning tool in computer science. So first we will discuss the role of computer science in education. After that, we will cover the importance of hands-on learning, how it enhances the understanding and improves the retentions. Next, we will explore what are virtual labs and how they will use an assessment tool. We will also discuss the role of teacher in virtual labs. Finally, we will demonstrate a live virtual labs executing by Python programs. All these points will cover in today's session.
Definitely sounds really very interesting that we are going to cover a lot of things in today's session. But Shweta ma'am, here's one question that comes in my mind and I would like to ask from you. And the question is that how do you see the role of computer science evolving in education as we move deeper into a tech-driven world? And what skills should students focus on to thrive in this environment?
Yes, Neve, definitely. So we are all aware that we are living in tech-driven world, and the use of ICT tools and digital literacy have become cornerstone of modern education. And computer science is more than coding. It's not only limited to coding. And if we see that, it is also fostering essential 21st century skills. Skills like critical thinking, creativity, design thinking and computational thinking. We all know that our country is moving for economic growth and in a pursuit of enhancing the employability. So like seeing this, NEP 2020 also emphasizes that we have to foster innovation, and it can be only fostered when students will be exposed to problems in laboratory environment where they will be solving problems and coming out with optimized solutions. And not only critical thinking, it also enhances problem solving attitude. And when the student is exposed to some problem, they come out with out of the box ideas, and it only it not only helps them to solve problems in technology but in their day-to-day life as well. And apart from that, it also fosters 21st century skills like creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. So, like I said, that it is not only limited to coding, from software engineering to software development, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, Internet of Things, robotics. So, there are many more areas, where a learner can contribute meaningfully to the society.
Definitely a lot of areas which is covered under this umbrella theme, that computer science, the virtual lab when it comes to computer science. Very interesting to know. But Shweta ma'am, in NEP, which is National Education Policy 2020, there is a major focus on computational skills. Can you please explain how conducting practicals can significantly improve computational skills?
Yeah, sure, Neve. Like I will answer this question with an age-old adage that tell me, I may forget. Teach me, I might remember, but involve me and I will understand. So, these words clearly enhances the importance of experiential learning, that a student can only understand in a better way if he will be actively engaged with technology. So, the focus is that currently there are a lot of gaps between theoretical and the practical knowledge. And these gaps can only be reduced when a child is doing the programs, executing programs or other things in laboratory environment. So even NEP 2020 says that no child should be left out while conducting experiments in lab. Even if they do not have labs in their school's vicinity, they should be given some opportunity to conduct the experiment, to experience the field while sitting at home. And NEP 2020 focuses skill development as a very critical component of our economic growth. So skill can only be built when a child is having the deeper understanding of the subjects. And it also has seen that in computer subject there are a lot of areas, lot of topics which are little tricky to understand. So if we can make the student understand these concepts using new technology like visualization, it will be definitely better for students' perspective. And like we have to encourage innovation, because in computer science there is not only one way to solve a problem. A program can be solved using recursion, iteration, or by some other way. So it can only be done when child will be doing the programs in laboratories rather than simply reading them in their textbooks. They will be coming out with lot of ideas and driving innovation of our country. And apart from that, when a child is reading the code, he will not get the idea that where there are lags or where he is being carry the misinformation. But when they will execute the programs, they will be getting immediate feedback. If the child is running a program in compiler, he will be getting errors. Okay, this step is wrong, this line of code is getting the error, so they can come out with the right solution. And the most important thing of learning in computer science is adaptability and resilience. Like every day in technology, we are having new technology, new softwares. When artificial intelligence came into picture, everyone got scared that is it going to replace us? Is it going to reduce the jobs? So here the crux is not to be afraid of these changes and the challenges. We have to embrace this technology, we have to embrace new things, and we have to update ourselves to stay relevant.
After your a brief answer, what are the crux that I've got it, like practical knowledge is more important than theoretical one, and this is what says National Education Policy 2020. But if we talk about virtual labs, Rahul sir, this question that comes in my mind, that the virtual labs, the integration with computer science, that today we are going to discuss this and we are discussing the same. So the one question that I would like to ask you, that what are virtual labs and what kind of setup or resources are required for students and teachers to start using virtual labs?
Okay. So virtual lab are web-based platform where learner conduct experiment through interactivities, simulations. Through simulations, virtual labs are accessible from anywhere, anytime, on any device. The NEP 2020, the National Education Policy 2020, also recognized the importance of virtual labs, digital technology and digital tools. Digital tools in education, starting that these tools are essential in providing quality education to everyone. To access virtual labs, you need a web-based browser and a stable internet connection and a PC, mobile or tablets. So these resources are required to access virtual labs.
So your mobile phones are not just for playing those games, it actually can be useful to access these virtual labs, which is absolutely portable. But Shweta ma'am, as we have learned a lot about virtual labs from Rahul sir, one thing that I would like to ask from you, can you please show us some live demonstration of virtual labs for computer science?
Surely, now we are going to dive in, to how to see the virtual labs and how to access them. So let me show to all the viewers that first of all we have to go to Diksha portal and we have to navigate to virtual labs. So you will be redirected to this site, and then when you scroll down, you can see that all the experiments are categorized as per the classes, and it is in two mediums, Hindi and English. So today we are going to explore a program of class 11 computer science. Let me click on English medium and then we will be redirected to this side. So here in the computer science lab manual, we have to do a lab activity for odd or even. So in programming, if you are getting a number from the user and you have to identify whether this number is an odd number or even number. So let me also show you that what are the different components of this interface. So after clicking on this link, you will be redirected to this page where you can see that there are several tabs: theory, procedure, video, simulator, self-evaluation, resources. Now what is the advantage of so many tabs? As we told that virtual labs are anywhere, anytime, any pace labs. So here user can also understand that what is the aim of the experiment. If the user is visiting this experiment for the very first time, he can at least get an idea that what he is going to do today, what is going to be the aim. So the theory is that to take a number from the user and using some operators, mathematical operators, we can identify. And the instructions are also written here. And you can see that the symbols are written like assign, load, store. So what is the significance of these numbers? When we write program, it is in simple English. It cannot be understood by the machine because machine only understands binary language. So that source code has to be converted in some symbols and machine instructions. So user will also get to know how the computer is being operating these instructions. And the learning outcomes, that it is going to enable the learner to understand the if-else construct of Python programming language and also about the modulo operator. So now user can also click on procedure where he can see the flow chart, a diagrammatic representation of what we are going to do today. So if we have to take any number from the user, input function has to be used of Python programming language, and then using this percentage symbol, which is a modulo operator, it will be dividing the number by 2 and it is going to check the remainder. If remainder is 0, that means number is even, otherwise number is odd. So here we are also checking a condition using if else block. So now I'm going to click on simulator and you will be seeing the screen. So let me also make you understand the interface. So it is divided between so many sections. On the extreme left, we have source code written by the programmer, which will be in plain English. Since I told you that computer cannot understand English language, it has to be converted into low level instruction. So the code segment has the machine level instruction. And in the extreme right hand side, you can see CPU registers. So while we execute Python programs, we have to take data and we also have to show data. So in the intermediary processes, data is being saved in computer memory in these CPU registers. So while teaching Python programming in class, teacher cannot demonstrate that how this instruction is converted to this low level instruction and how data flows in the actual memory of computer. Users can also see the memory is being divided between three parts: data segment, stack segment and heap segment. So we all know that we have variables in programs which holds data for us. So all the global variables are saved in the data segment. All the local variables are saved in the stack segment. And if required, if we have some variables whose memory or whose value will be dynamically allocated, so dynamic variables are being saved in the heap segment. So let's start the execution of this program. If I'll click on start, we can see that there are global variables num, result. So num means a variable which is going to take number from the user, and then after doing all the processing, the result will be saved in result variable. And in between we have temporary variables, because when we are dividing a number by 2, it is going to give us something. So all those intermediary results are going to be saved in these temporary variables T1 and T2. So now it is prompting the user to enter the value. So let me take any random number. Let me take 8. If I will click on submit, this variable will be saved in global variable num. And after the next step, it will assign 2, because if we have to check odd and even, we always divide the number by 2. So 2 will be saved in the temporary variable T1. Now this 8 from the local variable num will be assigned to the computer register R1. And similarly, the temporary variable 2 will also be saved randomly anywhere in R3. It doesn't matter where it is being saved. All memory locations are equivalent. Now it will use modulo operator. It will see that, okay, if we divide 8 by 2, the remainder is coming out to be 0. So 0 will always be saved in this temporary register, and then it will be loaded in the result global variable. So we can see it is going to check now if the result is coming out to be 0 using two equal operators. This is equality operator, and here the result is 0. It will be deciphering that, okay, the result is 0 and the number is even. So it is showing output as even. So that's how we can, execute the programs, and we can make the child understand the visualization, that how the program he is writing only 6 lines of code, which is ultimately being converted to 14 lines of code. So computer is also, doing the abstraction, making the things easier for you, so that you don't get confused with so many lines of code and you can focus on the logic part. And then we are completed. So Neve, that's how we can show the students that how we can leverage virtual labs in teaching and learning for computer science.
Definitely, as we all know that computer is definitely unable to understand the language, any other language, but the way we bifurcate it, like in a very simple manner, and all the allocation, the readings was there, and we understood like very confidently all of this. But Shweta ma'am, what is the right approach to establishing deeper understanding of complex concepts and build skills to solve real world problems?
Yes, Steve, like I just demonstrated execution of Python program. So like I can say that computer acts as a black box. All the machines are black box. Like they take some input from us, processes it and generates the output. So it is doing the abstraction, it is hiding the unnecessary complicated details from the user. So why virtual labs are important for learners to foster deeper understanding? Because like I'm reading a code from my textbook, but in virtual lab it is showing the execution of that code step by step. It is making the learner understand that at every step what is the significance of each line of code, like we just have seen in the demonstration. As well as like computer saves data in its memory. So in textbooks, you can't visualize how, see that how data is traveling in and out of the system. So virtual labs in computer giving the students spatial intelligence. It is helping the learner to see the complete process, that what is happening behind the scene. And also it is simulating hardware instruction. Like computer can only understand binary language, and a child cannot understand strings of ones and zeros. He can only understand English language. So how the source code is being converted to machine language, it is also being shown in virtual labs. So I think it is going to be very, very path breaking, and unleash the creativity of the students by looking at these examples, that how the processing is done, how I can write small lines of code, simple lines of code to make my program more optimized. So it is going to be very, very useful for all our students, and ultimately interactive debugging. If I'm making some mistake while executing the program, the user will be prompted that okay, you have made the mistake in this line of code. He can understand the mistake and rectify it. So it is definitely going to be path breaking and transformative in education of computer science.
Shweta ma'am, from your brief, what I've got understood, this has like two counterparts.
Yeah.
One, that machine is doing its own work.
Yeah.
And the another one, that whatever we are going to input it, whatever we are going to to calculate from the system. So that's also work for us. Okay, so these two counterparts, I would like to know simultaneously, would love to understand from you.
So to answer this, I can show you that whenever we are writing a program, it is taking some input from us in the form of variables, and a child cannot visualize that how data is being saved in the memory, how the execution is being done behind the back. So I think virtual labs in computer science is doing that for a child, and is also helping the teachers to improve their teaching practices. By exposing the child to more complex programming concepts like data structures and list arrays of Python.
Ma'am, one more thing that I would like to ask, that if we talk about real labs, okay,
Yeah.
so there are a lot of chances that students make mistakes, and those are definitely definitely a heartbroken one, because the systems are very expensive. And those language is very tricky to understand. So is this virtual lab, when it comes to computer science, making those things very easy for us?
Yeah, definitely, because while we're accessing virtual labs for computer science, it is giving us a platform, because all the computer programs are resource intensive, and the cost of physical equipments, software license can escalate and can lead to many more problems. So here they are helping the students, because they are giving a sandbox environment. Even if student is making some mistake, it is not being applied to the local system. It is only in that virtual environment. So student is free to explore, to innovate, to push boundaries in a very, very risk-free and accessible environment. And like you asked me that in other subjects we can have, like chemistry and physics, we have the harm of using hazardous chemicals. But here in computer science, we can say there are areas which are very critical. Because if we make any kind of mistake, it can lead to very, very critical issue. So I will be coming to it. But first of all, I will also like to emphasize on the importance of virtual labs in computer science. Like we just talk about hands-on learning. So now we are not simply reading or memorizing the programs. We are executing the programs in physical lab, or maybe near to real experience. And they are doing it and they are learning. Then equitable access. Like NEP 2020 says that no child should be left behind. And special consideration should be given to the children with special needs and Divyang students, maybe who are not able to access physical laboratories, maybe they are in far-flung areas, or they have some physical disabilities. So we have to leverage these virtual labs for everyone, irrespective of their physical location, or maybe in terms of accessibility. So I think virtual labs are known as anytime, any place, or any pace labs. And then cost-effective solutions. Like Rahul just mentioned, that these labs require only 3 things to access: stable internet connection, a web-based portal, laptop, or maybe a mobile phone. So I think it is reducing this divide, and it is coming out to be a very, very cost-effective solution. And then it is also supporting self-paced learning, you know, because teacher has very limited time in a period and he cannot cater to all the students, and some of the students left behind. So it is, you know, definitely helping the students to do the experiments on their own pace. They can learn something, they can go back to their homes and repeat the experiments as many times as they want. And like we were discussing safe experimentation. So in computer science also, like physics, chemistry and biology, there are areas like cryptography, and there are like database management, website session, where a single error in programming can lead to major issues. Like if we talk about cryptography, we all send messages in WhatsApp and we see end-to-end encryption. So whenever I'm sending message to anyone, first of all, it is being converted to some, you know, coded form so that no one can intercept in between. So if there is some error in the coding, any hacker can intercept my message and it can lead to data loss. Similarly, in website session management, when we have to do online banking, we see that a session has been assigned to us and it is only for limited time. So if there is some problem in this session management, then it can also lead to, you know, data loss or some theft. So I think virtual labs providing the user a very safe sandbox environment. If they want to experiment something in maybe ethical hacking, cryptography, then in, you know, instead of directly applying them to the local system, first they should access virtual labs, you know, to avoid any kind of errors or problems. And it is also giving automated feedback to the users. So if they are wrong, even in the absence of teachers, they can, you know, redirect to the correct solution. So I think it is definitely going to be very, very transformative in teaching and learning.
Definitely. What I've understood by her answer, that first of all, it's all about computer related, and when it comes to computer science, you have a computer there, you have a virtual lab there of computer science, and you can stimulate the things by yourself. You can do it by yourself. So it's more like a do-it-yourself
mode.
DIY. And with that, the program, the virtual lab will give you all the instructions, and you don't need to take care of anything. You don't need anyone around you. So all you can do by yourself, you can practice more, you can learn more, and this is what we all need. That experimentation is very important in today's world. Rahul sir, here one question that I would like to ask you, that can you please explain how these virtual labs can ensure better conceptual understanding for learners via live demonstration?
Okay, so for better understanding, virtual lab have three sessions: pre-lab sessions, performance session, or lab session, and post lab session. In pre-lab session, first we build their understanding, we use theory, and we already describe the procedure, how to explore this experiment. So developing a familiarity with the necessary instructions and background information and execution guideline to prepare the student. In performance session, we give virtual labs to interact with users, and post lab session we evaluate and giving feedbacks from users. So I demonstrate you live. In earlier, Shweta ma'am already demonstrated a live session of even odd numbers. So in this experiment, theory, procedure and videos, three parts in our screen. In pre-session, theory, procedure and lab and videos, but lab session there is simulations where user can experiment. In post session, self-evaluation, resource and feedback. These three parts for post lab session. So better understanding, to build better understanding, we use three parts: lab session, pre-lab session and post lab session. So these are the complete understanding about the virtual labs.
Okay, interesting indeed, very interesting. But Shweta ma'am, if we talk about those demonstration that we have already done one, but I just want you to do more. Like, it's very interesting to see. Can you do it like once more
Yeah,
for us?
like why not? We have talked about, a simple demonstration of odd and even. Now we can see one more demonstration of finding factorial of a number. So what is factorial of a number? Particular concept of mathematics has its application in algebra, combinatorics and probability. So let me show you. To find a factorial of any number, we can click on factorial. And like Rahul said, that this virtual lab is divided between 3 modules: pre-lab session, performance lab session and post-lab session. In the pre-lab session, student can acquaint himself by reading the theory and understanding the procedure. So like I said, even if the child has not done this experiment before, or in the absence of teacher, they can at least get an idea that what they have to do. And in programming languages, like we have English and Hindi, they have their own grammar and vyakaran. Similarly, in computer science, all the programming languages have their own syntax, the rules of programming language. So it is, if we are doing something in Python, it is very important for a student to understand that how to declare the variables and what are the programming constructs. So that can be understood by theory and the procedure. So like in factorial of a number is the multiplication of all the numbers between 1 and the number. Like we can see that factorial can be represented as n factorial exclamation mark, and we have to keep on multiplying the result by the current integer. We can start from 1 and we can keep on multiplying till the number. And for example, if we have to find the factorial of 5, it will be 120. So like 3, it will be 6. So now we can go to procedure to understand that what programming constructs are we going to use here. So we have to take number from the user. We can use input function for that, and we can initialize some variables which are going to save number for us. So we can declare a variable fact and we can initialize it with 1, and if we can keep on multiplying it till the actual number. And for this we have multiple ways to do this. We can either use iteration or we can use recursion. But today here we are going to do it with iteration, and we are going to use a loop. Again, programmers can use for loop or while loop. Here we are using while loop. So here we will be taking some number from the user using input function, which will be saved in variable num. It will be a global variable. Now we have to take another variable fact. It is going to hold 1, because we have to keep on incrementing the value and multiply the result till we get the actual number. And there is a counter variable of I, because we have to iterate it. Repeatedly we have to multiply. So we have to start from 1. And here while loop is going to do the iteration, and here we have to keep on multiplying till we get the original number. So this condition is very important for the user to understand, that keep on multiplying till we get the original number. And the result will be saved in the fact variable. This counter will be incremented here, and ultimately when the condition will be false, the control will come out of the loop and the result will be printed using the print function. So here the programmer will be writing these 7 lines of code, LOC we say in programming. But when it is being converted to low level instruction, you can see it is being converted to so many lines of code. So it is making programming very easy, because the programmer does not have to worry about so many lines of code. They only have to focus on the logic part. Now we will be going, if user wants, they can also click on video and they can understand the entire process. And if they have to run the experiment, they have to go on simulator. You will get the same interface. Click on start. In the extreme left we have source code written by the programmer. Then here we have low level instruction. These instructions will be directly interpreted by the computer. And then let me start the program. Like I just mentioned or demonstrated in the previous slide, we have 3 global variables here. Number, fact will be initialized with 1 initially, and I is a counter variable which will be used for loop. Now it will be prompting the user to enter any number. For example, we have to find the factorial of number 4. I will write here 4 and I will click on submit. And you can see that num is holding 4 now. Initially, the fact variable will be assigned with 1 because we have to keep on multiplying it till we get the number 4. And here, the counter will also be assigned with 1. Now you can see that all the values of these variables will be loaded into the register. Without loading into the register, program is not going to execute. Here we are showing the students that how software is interacting with the hardware part. And all these values will be loaded to register, which is in the physical memory of computer. These values will be assigned. And we call CPU as a central processing unit where all the instructions are being executed actually. So here it is, starting the iteration one by one, it is multiplying. And you can see that how values are being loaded in the variables. The loops are executed. The counter variable is assigned, incremented. So by simply reading the instruction, it is very difficult for the learner to understand programming and how, the flow of execution is being done. But I think it is definitely, making the learners understand that how the conditions are being checked. If the condition is true, then only the program will execute, keep on incrementing the values, and so on. So here step-by-step execution is shown. And we can also done using dry run. In the classroom teaching we can do it. But it is also showing the interaction between software as well as hardware. So this loop will be incremented. See, 3 is less than 4, which is true. Then only it will proceed. And when the value of fact will be 4, it will be showing every step by step, how the values are moving from register to the variables. Now 4 is less than equal to 4, which is true. One more time the loop will run. And when the value of fact will be 5, the condition will be false. Let me show you. Here the program will come out of the while loop. So here the condition is false now. And here the value will be stopped now. And it is going to display the output 24. So if we are going to find the factorial of 4, it will be doing 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. If we are doing orally, it is so simple. But by doing with the help of programming is little tricky. It cannot be understood by everyone. So here we are trying to make the programming more interesting, more engaging.
Interesting to use in a simplified manner.
Yes.
And really arising my curiosity regarding the same. But Shweta ma'am, as you have mentioned everything, as you have demonstrated us everything beautifully, it's not a deal for students only, it's a great tool for teachers as well. And just want you to put some light on this, like how it is known as a great tool for our teachers, for our educators as well.
Yes, so far we were only talking about, students, that it is learners driven, but it has so much to offer for the teachers as well. Because, if we talk about the teachers has already so much burdened by the pressure of assessment and doing a lot of things. So virtual labs is also playing a pivotal role in the assessment part, which can be leveraged by the teachers. And if we talk about assessment, it is very critical component of entire teaching and learning process because it acts as constructive feedback mechanism. And if I'm teaching something, I would be more interested to know whether my students are learning it or not. So assessment gives deeper insight, in the subject understanding by the students, and also highlights the area which needs, immediate attention or additional support. So here assessment can be divided between diagnostic and formative. So before teaching any concept, a teacher would like to know that what is the current understanding of my students of a particular topic. Are they carrying any misconceptions so that I can remove them? So for that they can do the diagnostic assessment, and diagnostic assessments can be done using pre-lab session of our virtual labs where we have theory and the procedure. So teacher can direct the students that today I'm going to take this topic in the class, go through virtual labs in Diksha portal, go through the theory and the procedure part, so that at least you can be familiar that what we are going to talk about. it is going to be very, very transformative. And then formative assessment. So as a teacher is teaching the topic in a class, formative assessment is continuous process. As the teacher is teaching the any topic, he should like he or she also would like to know that what is the current understanding, how much a student is understanding the concept. So for that, virtual labs can also play very, very pivotal role, because we have post lab assessment sessions as well in the form of MCQs. So after student have simulated the experiment in the virtual lab, they can go through those post lab assessment sessions to understand or to check their knowledge, whether they have actually grasped the concept or no, or not.
Definitely. This shows that a teacher has a very vital role when it comes to the simulation of these virtual labs when it comes to computer science. But ma'am, one more thing, that as we have learned a lot, these virtual labs are more like do it yourself. You have that environment that you can construct those experiments by yourself. There are instruction, there is aim, the theory, everything you have by your side. So does this minimize the role of a teacher, and what is the ideal role of a teacher when a learner simulating through virtual labs?
So as we are saying that virtual labs are learner driven, and it is very intriguing to know that what could be the actual role of teachers in virtual labs. So I would say that teachers are still at the center stage. Like we say, no AI, nothing can replace teachers. Similarly, nothing can replace teachers here also, so they don't have to be skeptical about it. But here, teachers have to play important role of being the facilitator now. You're the teacher, but now you have to be the facilitator, because you have to now guide the students in terms of navigating the students to use virtual labs on Diksha portal, and then you have to guide them, apprise them about the features of virtual labs, and especially the importance of virtual labs. As well as teachers can also blend virtual labs with their classroom teachings. So here a teacher has to strategize their lesson plan accordingly. They have to ensure that every child is accessing these emerging technologies to deeper understanding of the subject. And like I just mentioned, that a teacher can also play a pivotal role in monitoring and assessing the progress of every child. So before taking any topic in the classroom, they can go to Diksha portal virtual labs. They can understand the aim, the procedure. They can also look at the videos, and they can also simulate the experiment once before teacher takes the process. And then they can also undergo self-assessment modules. And when the teacher will be explaining that particular program in the class, you can see that students are going to unleash their creativity. Like I said, that there is not just one way of doing a program in computer science. So some students will be coming out with the ideas of recursion, iteration, some will be using for loop, some will be suggesting, ma'am, we can do it with while loop. So I think their horizon will be broadened, and they can innovate, optimize solutions. And like teacher has to cater to so many students in a very limited time. During this process, some students are left out. So what virtual labs are doing for the teachers and students, they are known as any place, any pace, any time labs. So even if a student is not able to ask any query or to understand any concept in the lab, they can go back to their home and they can do the experiment again. So in a way, we can say that virtual labs are providing accessibility, rapidity, visualization in a very, very risk-free environment. And the most important, that even teachers don't have to make boring MCQ assignments only. Like I told you, that NEP focuses on 21st century skills. So even if a teacher is planning their lesson for a classroom, they can also be innovative. They can also make the students divided into teams so that they can do collaborative activities. Maybe two of them have to see a video and have to explain in front of class. So in a way, they are also fostering essential 21st century skills like creativity, critical thinking, and communication. And Neve, I would also like to demonstrate one more experiment,
Sure.
so that we can also tell learners that how we can leverage it in a better way.
Okay, so we are going to
Yeah.
demonstrate one more experiment over here with on our Diksha portal, where you can access these virtual lab. And we have already demonstrated two experiments for you, and here's a third one for our viewers, for our students, for our educators, and for our teachers as well. But if we talk about these virtual labs, it's very interesting. But ma'am, one thing,
Yes.
like while this website is loading, that one
Yeah.
thing I would like to ask from you, and the question is that, okay, teachers are doing their work,
Yeah.
students are doing their work. It's more like a do-it-yourself thing. But how can teacher make this interesting thing more interesting?
So like it is up to the teacher now that how to leverage this virtual lab in their daily teaching practice. They can also elevate their teaching practice by blending virtual labs in their day-to-day teaching practice in class. So instead of simply, you know, going through the coding and doing the experiment in the physical lab, they can assign activities in a very interesting way using these labs. So collaborative activities can also be leveraged, which is
Okay.
going to be very, very interesting for the students. So now let me show you one more experiment and it will show that how to add two numbers. It is a very simple Python program, and again it is also a foster that how we have to use mathematical operators in Python programming. So there are a lot of operators, and we can see the procedure that if we have to add two numbers in Python programs, we have to take two variables, A and B, and ultimately the sum has to be done using plus operator, which will ultimately be printed as the final result using the print function. So now you can go on simulator and we will be looking at this interface. So we have to click on start. It will be asking global variables, two numbers. It will be asking A and B. In this it is taking the numbers on its own. A will be assigned 20 and B will be assigned 30. And like this, the variables will be loaded to the computer memory. They will be added using the plus operator. The result will be assigned to the global variable sum. So this interaction is very, very interesting, and student can also come out with many more ideas that how we can do this in some other way. So I think it is going to foster innovation and curiosity among students. And I was talking about the assessment part. So here we have self-evaluation module. If we will click on self-evaluation module, there are a lot of MCQs. After doing the simulation, a child can also test their knowledge, that how much they have grasped, how much they have understood. So it is going to be very, very beneficial for both teachers and learners. And they can blend these virtual labs in their teaching practices.
So it's not all about
Yeah.
the virtual labs, the simulation. It's more about the MCQs that you can actually test yourself there on. And this is all in the self-evaluation part. So if we
Yeah.
talk about this, it's very interesting to know. And we have demonstrated three experiments over here. Shweta ma'am, like as I said in the beginning, that this is our online training on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning, and this is phase 3. So where you have to register yourself, I'm sure that a
Yeah.
lot of people wants to know this, and just take a look your screen. We are going to discuss where you can register yourself via our website. So this is our website, ciet.ncert.gov.in, where you have to come across, and this is our interface. As you can see here, we have to go on activities, and in the column of activities you must scroll down on the workshop/training. Once you've come across this workshop and training, you must have seen this capacity and building through online training and virtual workshop. This is our motive. This is our NEP 2020, which is National Education Policy in an expanded form. And then here you can see this current activity. Here are two things are written. One is in Hindi, and the another one, that the program that we are going on right now from 16th of December till 26th of December. This is our online training on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 3. Simply you have to click on this, and this click get you through this website. And this is our online training on integration of virtual labs in teaching learning phase 3. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. As you can see, These all are virtual lab session with dates, and what we are going to discuss on particular date, it's absolutely written over here. You can have all your knowledge from here only, from this website, and this is all about the motive, that what exactly it is, why is it important, and what NEP 2020 says. Now you can see who can participate. That's an important thing, an interesting one as well. So if you are student, teacher, teacher educator, parent, administrator, journal public, etc., anyone can participate. This is open for all of you. And here the program schedule we are having, and this is our schedule where day and date written, title of the session, name of the resource person, as I'm having today Rahul sir and Shweta ma'am with me. So it's absolutely written over here. As you can see, if we talk about day 6, so it's virtual lab as a teaching learning tool for computer science that we have discussed just now. And these are two resource person that I have today in the studio, Mr. Rahul Verma and Ms. Shweta Bhardwaj. And if you have missed anything, you don't need to take worry about it, because you have these links over here, like the days we have already had. You have the presentation day, you can just simply click on these links and you can access all of them. You can learn what exactly we have already taught our viewers. And then once this day finish off, like we'll finish off this session, you'll get a link of this session as well, just in front of this day number 6. Okay, so now this is a program advisory, and this is the name of our coordinator and course coordinator, the academic coordinator. Now how to participate, that's interesting to know. So first you have to register yourself, and how you're going to register yourself, simply you just have to click on this link. Otherwise you can also scan this QR code which you are seeing on your screen. And the step 2 is watch live training session, as the training session is right now is going on, and some of if some of them you have already missed. So I've told you that where you can watch all of them once again. Simply click on the link, you can get all of them. So this is going on 16 to 26th of December. These are few channels where you can watch all our live session, as well as the session that we have already done. You can watch it here on this website, which is ciet.ncert.gov.in. Step 3, take up the online course, participate in assessment and get certified. Yes, if you are interested and to earn a certificate, you just need to do the following thing, and all these pointers are written over here. Join the online course that will be launched on Diksha portal, and the course link that will be announced very soon. You don't need to take worry about it. That will going to be announced very soon, as it is written over here. Then step 4, submit your feedback. Your feedback is very valuable for us, and then that you have to submit to us. That feedback link and the feedback form going to be announced very soon. There you can give us your valuable feedback to us, that how these sessions are going for you and what exactly you need more from our side. All of these, your feedback, your suggestion that you can give us too. And for any queries where you have to reach, you just have to reach on our website, which is written over here, diksha.training@ciet.nic.in, or you can call us on our number, which is written here, which is 8800440559. Okay, so this is all for today. And if we talk about this virtual lab session for phase 3, we understood about computer science, that how is it important and how the computer science subject makes this interesting when it comes to virtual lab. Okay, so this is all for today, and I really want to thank to both of my resource person. Shweta ma'am, thank you so much for coming here. Rahul sir, thank you so much coming here and giving us insights of this virtual lab when it comes to computer science. But this is not over yet, because before wrapping up this session, here's an important announcement for all our e-content creators, and the information is actually coming on your screen, flashing on your screen. I'm just going to read out from here only. So the All India Children's Educational E-Content Competition is back for the year 2024-25. We invite teachers, teacher educators, students and independent educational e-content creators to submit their best e-content for the competition. For further details and the registration form, please visit the activities section of our official website at www.ciet.ncert.gov.in or scan the QR code on the screen. The final date for submission is 31st of December 2024. So this is all about the important announcement for all our e-content creators. But as I've told you that this is not exactly like a wrapping up this whole day for you. A lot more coming to your doorstep. So let's take a look via schedule that what we have for you today. So after this session we'll join you again at 12 p.m. where we're going to take up class 10 science, and the topic that we are going to cover is the human eye and the colorful world. At 2 p.m. we are going to come back with class 3rd mathematics, and the topic that we are going to discuss is filling and lifting. At 2:30 p.m. we are going to take up class 3rd English, and the chapter that we are going to cover is Thank God. Interesting to know, and definitely a very interesting session going to happen at that time. And if we talk about 3 p.m. Class 4th Urdu we are going to take up, and the topic, the unwan that we are going to cover is Akalmand Machera. At 3:30 p.m. we are going to come with class 4th Hindi, and the topic that we are going to cover is Kirmich Ki Gend from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. This is our 1-hour online training program, and the topic that we are going to talk about is Vigyan Shikshan or Adhigam ke liye audio or video sansadhan. And we are going to wrap up our session. We are going to wrap up our day with our 5 p.m. session, which is for class 6 to class 12 students. And this is our Sahyog session, and the topic that we are going to cover is importance of e-fasting for holistic wellness. Okay, so this is me, Neef Goswami, signing off for now, but all you need to take care of yourself and stay tuned with NCERT official, because here a lot more coming to your doorstep, as I've already mentioned, and as I've already revised the whole schedule for you. So all you need to just stay tuned here. We are going to come back at 12 p.m. sharp. But this is me, Neef Goswami. As I've told you, we are going to sign off, and take care of yourself. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us once again. Namaskar.